Kiran Bedi, this is a question now of the credibility of the government. This is a government which speaks, this is a government that speaks of, this is a government, Kiran Bedi, that speaks of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which speaks about women's empowerment. Haryana has been used as a showcase of what the government intends to do. These athletes have been made a showcase of how India is changing. Now when these athletes come out, there seems to be, it's now 48 hours since these allegations were made. The minister is character assassinating the girls, and the government has been mostly silent. They haven't been willing to call off the bluff of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. What's the message that goes out then?
Well, I don't know whether in this legal aspect, because there's a lot of legalese involved as well. But they are patiently impatient, I think. The government is being patiently but impatient. The fact that they've got this member committee of the IOC, I think government just has to wait for this report and get into action. Nothing stops them.
No, but should he step aside? I mean, how can, and this is not just true of wrestling, but let's assume that the head of your organization is accused of sexual harassment. As long as he continues in that position of power and influence, no report will be seen as truly objective, Kiran Bedi. So the first thing is he should step aside, and then you can have a proper inquiry.
But the IOC is not now dependent on this man's presence. I think the IOC, it's pretty well, it's a very
but
well...
Their careers are. But their careers are. Their future in wrestling is still dependent on him. Their careers and future in wrestling
I think we should give the members a chance.
How can this man continue to occupy this office?
So you're saying, Vrinda Grover is saying he should step aside for any inquiry to be seen as fair. Okay.
Well,
let Kiran Bedi respond. Do you think, Kiran Bedi, in the first instance, let's assume tomorrow this was not wrestling. This was a top corporate. And the corporate boss is accused by many of his employees, and the male employees stand by them with these allegations. Should that individual continue? In many cases, that's the problem. We've seen the individuals brazen it out and use their power to, in a way, silence these voices. That can't, in this case, it's out in the public glare. In other cases, it's hushed up.
I think the only thing is this gentleman is very thick-skinned. Had he not been thick-skinned, he wouldn't have gone this far.
Why is the government quiet? He cannot hold this position if the government asks him. Government can remove him from that post. This is not his private fiefdom. The Wrestling Federation of India is not his private property. Why should the government, why does the Sports Minister not ask him to step down? Doesn't the Sports Minister have that power?
As I said,
I don't care about his thick skin. What is the government doing is the question.
Okay, Kiran Bedi, you want to respond? Should the government, as I said, a government which is claiming Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, encouraging women athletes, and these are now, Olympic medalists, surely the government should be seen to be standing by them more strongly.
I think the government seems to be standing by, but it's giving the process a due. Rather than this gentleman take you to the court and say, these are my powers. I think it's a matter of ethics. This man is very thick-skinned. Absolutely thick-skinned.
Otherwise, why is India head has not been asked to step down by the government.
Okay.
The government is supporting him if they don't ask him to step down.
They've given him, Vrinda Grover, the government issued a statement. Just a minute, ma'am. Vrinda Grover, government issued a statement 2 days ago giving him 72 hours to respond. Do you believe that that is 72 hours will end on Sunday or tomorrow evening?
Ask him to step down. I'm sorry. He can step down and give as many responses as he wants to. He cannot continue to occupy that office. He needs to be removed from that office if there has to be even a remote possibility of an inquiry. Leave aside a fair inquiry. This is basic equity. I am shocked that people think that the government is giving him a chance. Give the women of this country a chance for once.
Okay.